Well, hello everyone. Welcome into Flying with Mike, and I hope everything is going well. Um, Looks like we're gonna have OBS troubles again today. Lord have mercy. Oh well. Anyway, folks, we are sitting here in Punta Gorda and sitting with XPlane12. Folks, if you haven't tried XPlane12 today that have it, well, we have beta 7 out now. So yes, folks, it is in beta open release so that all of us can let XPlane know where we're finding problems. But yeah, we're sitting on the deck here and hopefully we won't run into a lot of troubles as we did yesterday with OBS. But it looks like we are, so it is what it's going to be. All right, folks, so the A319 sits here in Punta Gorda. Yes, this is where Hurricane Ian came through with a vengeance, and hopefully, all that is there, you all are coping well. My prayers continue to go out for you all down there, and hoping that you all get recovered as quickly as one can after a catastrophe like Hurricane Ian. All right, folks, so we are going to press on and move into the cockpit here and get this flight ready to roll to MidAmerica Airport. All right, so there we are in the office, as you can see. Boy, this thing isn't, I mean, I made a couple changes yesterday to it, and wow, OBS is still clamoring and giving problems. Oh well. So kind of knocks me off my game when it does these things. Anyway, so we're sitting here. We're going to go through the quick pre-flight here with Sim Toolkit if it will allow us. Keyword if. And I don't think I had, there we go. Alrighty. And you can see where we're at here. This is when you set a flight plan up through flight planning. Up in this corner, you'll find from SimBrief. When it comes up and you click fly now, this is where you're at. Neat addition, tells you how many minutes to what you scheduled for departure. And it also nicely tells you, hey, meathead, you haven't filed your flight plan yet. I'm not, I'm torn if I should file a flight plan because what happened last time. We'll go ahead. We'll give it a try, let's break it. If we're going to break things, let's break things, Hey, what the heck? Let's do it right. And I'm just moving a window out of the way. There we go. All right, so let's see here. I think, oh, that's all in there. So we'll put in what our RVR is we can take, and we'll hit send. And hopefully be done with that. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and try to fire up keyword try. There we go. Come on. All right, and we'll go for the connect. This is the part I don't like when it's so slow. Right back to here, I'm filing as, just so you all know, it's AAY853. Of course, the A319 and connect. Hopefully we will not, if we disconnect from Vatsim one time, we will not reconnect. All right, so that's only fair to the controllers. And if I haven't said it enough yet, folks, this is XPlane12, and it is the beta version. Hang on, I'm trying to get back down. So, there we go. All right, so that we can move along here. All right, so from the pre-flight page here, folks, we'll click the clipboards here. Now, we're in a flight plan format I'm using because it gives me information I don't normally get on the default format. So that's why we're not going to worry about what's on the right. We're only going to worry what's on the left. All right, so as you can tell, we have our taxi if we need to ever figure out how to get where we need to go. This one doesn't have the taxiway, so, but at least you have an idea. We'll be going on this runway 15. Loadout for today, 144 peeps. Payload of 32,180, and that'll yield us the zero fuel weight of 122,170 pounds. Fuel, I'm increasing to 19,512, and that is because we're increasing the cost index from 10 to 50. And within this flight plan format, it tells you if you're going to increase it, how much fuel to add. We're going to still hold at 38,000. Takeoff runway is one, arrival runway, sorry, is 14 left. And right now it's raining here. We'll see how the weather is when we get here about 2 hours later. Hey, 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 downwind sim, how are you? Hope all is well. Well, besides OBS 28 being a bunch of garbage, we're doing great. So, and I can't pinpoint the problem, so we're just gonna move on and hope for the best, hope for no disconnects, where OBS completely disconnects, and oh my gosh, it's just ridiculous. So, otherwise, we're doing fine. And then finally, the weather at both places, 105 here. Far cry from when we landed here. That's right. So 105, we came in here about that, but except 105, I believe. Enough wind, folks, that I wasn't on my game thinking, and I was going fast enough that the wind would keep us up. Yeah, that was pretty intense. That was fun. Yep, nothing really to complain about. That's awesome. All right, and then that's Punta Gorda's TAF. And then the weather down here in MidAmerica, we got drizzle. Few clouds at 3,800, broken at 7,500. And for the love of God, I cannot stop yawning, and I do apologize, folks. 130 at 6 for the winds here, so we'll be landing, like I said, 14 down there. All right, enough pre-flight. Away with you. And let's see what we can do damage-wise on the sim here. All right, let me first and foremost do a couple things here with the old way of doing things. Let's get this door to stay open and these guys to stay open a little longer. They are actually timed, folks. So be on your game if you want to run it, because they will close up on you. Now you can see they're open. One more time, looking outside at it. And yeah, I'm going to have to start reading up on how to do OBS on one machine, Flight Sim on another machine, or OBS figures out what they did wrong, because I had no troubles prior versions, so. All right, so there you go, folks. Doors are now open. We'll begin setting this plane up. We are in the turnaround version. What does that mean? That means the plane's powered up. We're on external power. Now, a lot of times, the crews will do this and talk with one. And it makes sense when you hear what they say. Sometimes when you're on external power, it loses, geez, sounds like OBS. It loses connection. Sorry, folks, couldn't resist. But no, seriously, it loses connection and it's no longer connected. So if you're on your batteries, guess what? You're draining your batteries. So if that happens, the batteries are off, the plane goes dark. So that's how they prevent that. So this is how technically a turnaround should look. Then you come in and do your appropriate pre-flight actions, and you'll turn the batteries on then. Matter of fact, speaking of checklists, I better get one up here. All right. So we'll leave it just like that for now. Now let me show a couple things because you know, this is still new. XPlane12 plus the new Airbus 319. I think it's only been like 2 weeks, 3 weeks it's been out, on top of the 4 or 5, 6 weeks that XPlane12 has been. So really nice version. And folks, did I pay anything? I don't think if I remember right, I didn't pay for this. As long as you had bought it for 2000, I'm sorry. Oh, I can't believe I said it that way. Unless you bought it for 11, you don't have to pay for it. It's a free upgrade. And they have added a few items. So hang on a second. Getting an ACARS program running. Figured I better do it now before things get kind of hairy-carry with OBS and all. So, but it's really nice here. Hang on a second. Sound like my phone. Okay. Sorry, folks. Thought I heard my phone go off, and I was incorrect as usual. But it's a really nice airplane. Highly recommend it for those in XPlane12. I believe the update was also for 11, so we haven't tried it yet over back there. We've been doing a lot of work in 12. So, all right, there we go. There's our flight. I just want to get this going because if I don't, I'll forget, and then it's a sad day. Stop scrolling. My gosh, it scrolled out of sight. It's unreal. Okay, sorry for the dead air there, folks. Oh my goodness. And start. That way I'm done with this. Go. All right. Oh. Weather overcast not being translated properly. Well, let's take a look. We're in a broken overcast, so let's see. Okay, what I'm reading on the METAR is not again, this all depends the METAR they're working from. I don't know. This, You know, now looking at this, you know, if we look at that METAR, let's do it this way. Where am I, or where am I at? There I am. Couldn't even figure out where I was at. Okay, METAR wise. Oh, they don't tell us the time. So they've got, okay, as of 1426, broken, scattered. I am not getting a clue out of this, folks. Holy mackerel. Are they trying to say 1,426 feet broken? Which I don't know how you derive that out of a METAR. 2,092 scattered. Holy mackerel. Okay. Well, that's why I guess it looks the way it does. All right. Interesting. But yeah, I see your point. But the clouds, I will say this much. It is default beta. They aren't that bad right now. Now, mind you, for those who weren't here yesterday, first off, my apologies for all the disconnects that OBS did to the stream, not the video. Video is up on YouTube if you want to watch it. But I lost my train of thought. Holy mackerel, I'm getting old. Anyway, it was a unique flight. Let's just, you know what? I'm just going to go on. I can't get my train of thought back. Oh, OBS is just really ridiculous. All right, so let's quickly show it off. With the new A319, you get this neat feature right here. And I'm going to switch over, zoom in on it. Oh, dang it, I hit the wrong keys. Sorry, folks. Gosh, dang it. You ever have one of those days where you think you might just want to go back to bed and say to heck with the day? I'm starting to feel that way. All right, anyway, here's some of the new features. You get 5 pages here. You start with where you're able to put the external power on, the different types of air you can apply to the plane, high pressure, low pressure, and your chocks. The next page, clicking plus, allows you to set your pushback. Now, this is the pushback within ToLiss. It's actually pretty good, folks. I kind of like it. But I also have better pushback. So right now I'm going to try it this time with better pushback. My only caveat, and I hope every streamer says this, that number, folks, is meters. So that's, for us in the US, figure 3 feet a meter. It's 100 of those, folks. You're going to be a couple football fields behind you. Think about that when you set that number. This gives you the ability to bring your fuel up to that amount. So what it's saying is I am requesting, in this case, 15,432 pounds of fuel. That's what you're going to get. 15,004. If you want 20,000, you got to request 5,000. If you want 5,000 pounds of fuel, request, I don't know how you do that. I'll be honest. Then your cargo. And you can open and close the doors here for cargo. And we can apply de-ice. I haven't tried that yet. That day is coming soon. Don't worry. And then on the attendant, now that was the mechanic. Interesting how you call the mechanic for pushback, call the mechanic for this, that, and the other. The ground, basically. Not ground ATC, ramp ground, meaning your rampies. Then over here on the attendant, ATT, you can open whatever doors you want. You know, you would open this side for your service trucks, and you can arm and cross-check. Many checklists have that, folks. And then you can set your number of packs here too. So it's a neat add-on that you didn't have to pay for if you already had it for XPlane12. So with all of that in mind, and our time is dwindling down, we also still have the ToLiss ISCS system up here. Easy for everyone else to say, but the loose nut behind the stick on this one. And folks, you can do almost everything on that from here as well. Here's your pushback. Again, meters. Now you can kind of figure out the minus sign is tail left, plus sign is tail right. PMDG, I think, is nose if you're in MSFS. Just be cautious of those. I load the fuel here because it makes a heck of a lot more sense to me here. And you can do your cargo and all from here. We'll get to that in just a second. A couple other things to point out. You can turn random faults on. I don't, for one reason only. I don't have an FCOM. That's what Airbus calls their air manuals for procedures of if this goes, if this goes, if that goes. What to do, how do I remedy it? Do I need to immediately land and so forth? This one, though, is one you really want to pay attention to. And it's right here, because we're going to be doing that here pretty quick. So you can actually tie your SimBrief account to your ToLiss aircraft in XPlane12. And when you're going through it, Otto, room 69, yo, welcome aboard. But here's the tough part with it. XPlane12 is still what we call beta phase. You can download it, it'll fly, it works great, but it is still with some bugs that we, the users, are telling XPlane so they can fix them on their next releases. So we're up to beta 7 now. But as I was saying, folks, the SimBrief ID is not that letter username you have. In your SimBrief account, you'll find a number ID. That's what they want here. 69, welcome, and thank you so much for the follow. Was much appreciated, and look forward to seeing you on our next flight, which will be Thursday, by the way, folks. But yeah, so this is really cool. Now, these I don't fully yet understand the full work of it, but you're about to see here as we go through the checklist how to do it. Then you got your general settings, how you want to start up your joysticks and stuff like that. So let's go back here. And today's fuel was 19,512. Okay. Closest we can get is 600. That's good. All right, passenger-wise, 144. And our zero fuel weight is 122,173. Okay, so we'll zero these guys out first. It was 122,173. We'll go with that. Apply. And I just find it much easier to set it up this way. Kind of like this one, passenger distribution. Folks, when you're pretty much a full plane, there really isn't much moving around to people. So, but the cargo, all I do is put the PAX number on first. What's left, in my zero fuel weight in the plane versus what I'm scheduled, I put in the cargo bins. All right, so that part is done. Let's get at it, shall we? All right, first things we got to do, start from the bottom, work our way up. So parking brakes on, spoilers down, flaps are up, transponders on, radars not visible, so hang on. Let's do it this way. Radar is off, PWS is off. Our engines are mode normal, switch is off. I already turned that on, we'll leave it as is. Actually, I think if I come up one, I'm good. Yeah. That makes the controllers happy. Okay, he's squawking mode Charlie. I can breathe easier. Yes, I do have a lot of fun with that, folks. I had a very lengthy discussion, borderline argument with a controller in Mesa, Arizona, controlling that airport. And he was just going to be livid that I was not squawking mode Charlie on. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't. Lo and behold, it was because this was not turned on. It was on auto, which in my feeble mind, getting back to work, right, Downwind Sim, thanks for joining us, thanks for being a part. Hope you have a great day. Long story short, in my feeble little pea mind, brain up there, auto means on too. No, it's actually off in the Vatsim world. Took me about 2 or 3 flights later to figure that out. So let's keep going up. Radios, we'll kick them on now. Moving up the panel, moving on up. Okay, landing gears down, 3 green. You can always tell when we're powered up, folks. The only thing is, I can tell you right now, the batteries aren't on, but we are on external power. That's why you see stuff on the screens. Again, moving up, let's go ahead and work our way to turning the battery switches now on. Reason, again, if you weren't here in the beginning, pilots have told me they'll leave the external power on when they leave the plane, but they'll kill the 2 battery switches, or the battery switch if it's Boeing. Reason being that external power from time to time cuts out. And when it'll cut out, you're draining your batteries. So if you turn the battery switches off, it cuts out, your plane goes dark, cold and dark start, but your batteries aren't drained. Interesting. I know. Go ahead and get that, get these on. And we'll go ahead and get some Nav Lights to let people know we're alive. All right, we'll go with Nav 2. We haven't ran with them in a while. All right, so let's go through it real quick. The upper panels here. So going up this side, we'll turn ground control on, make the check. There it is. Our GPWS looks good. These will turn as this aligns up here. Things looking good. And we got the on bat, which just basically says if we lose the generators on the engine, generator on the APU, guess what? It still works on the batteries. And this is our navigation, folks. Engine 1 fire looks good. Red light, horn, and 2 yellow agent lights. Good. And I think they said discharge now that I think about it. Yep. Agent 1, Agent 2 fire. Good. All right, coming back up here, we've got our lights set. Everything's off. We'll go ahead and move that to auto. It won't turn on till the gear comes off the runway and that strut extends. Okay, seatbelt signs are on. Let's do a light check. All lighting up here. All lit down here. and all the way down, back up to the top, and back to bright. Okay, dome. Okay, we don't need to worry about any of our anti-ice. Our packs are off. Go ahead, since we're a full flight, go up to high. Again, our generators aren't on because the engines aren't on. Fuel pumps are already on. And we can start boarding passengers here momentarily. Let's finish this up. Get radio 3 on. It's just a backup and it's working. Okay, things looking good. Did I miss anything going through my checklist? Go ahead, heat the cabin. Actually, we can't without the APU. Okay, we've got the aiders, strobes, seatbelts, landing, pack flows. All right. Missing something here. There we go. Yeah, we should have the APU on now. Coming on. Waiting for flap open, and that's what it's doing, folks, is just opening the flap so it gets air. While we wait, let's go ahead and clear. Come on, flap open. There we go. Start. And it'll take about a minute to fire up, and then we'll get the McDoos fired up and we'll be ready to go. And you're going to find how remarkably easy this is. Now, from the sound of a real world Airbus pilot, it's pretty realistic. But I don't know. I've never sat in the cockpit when they for some reason they just won't let me sit in the cockpit. I don't get why on flights. Just kind of annoying, you know. But yeah, he says it's about as easy as it is in the real world. Okay, so we're available. All right, and now we can get the bleed on. And warm up just a little in the cabin, cool off the cockpit, and come off external power. All right. All right, X bleed. Auto. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, I had to find it there for a second. All right. Final check here. Let's get the McDo going here. Let me see here. We're looking at 5 minutes to align. If you don't see it, it's right there, folks. So we got a little bit of time. Yeah, we've got everything set, so we're just waiting for that alignment to occur. I like getting it down a little closer. While we wait, we can just start. Now this page can be reached by going to Data, Aircraft Status, if you ever need to find it out. AirNac Cycle 2210, that is the latest, just updated within a week, I think it was. So that's there. We'll go to the initialization page. That's what I'm kind of waiting on here. Let's get it down a little bit closer. Maybe 3 minutes, we'll start it. All right, well, I'm we're going to go ahead and begin the Init Request. And all I did is clicked. It's looking for my flight plan, AOC flight plan uplink, and it's going to begin to fill it in here. Look at that, AAY853. There's our cost index, which we're going to update. And look, there's our flight level. Tropo's wrong. That's okay. We'll leave it as is. And we'll go ahead, click Align, and get our winds. Okay. But did you see how easy that was? And here's the kicker, folks. Flight plan's there. Broken, LA, Troy, Jawa, wow, I'm sorry, folks. Little things make me laugh, I know. Montgomery, MG Murray, and then Vulcan, and, oh, went the wrong way, sorry, and Centralia. But it's all there, and folks, that's the correct way it should come, because guess what? By the time dispatch this out, put it in the system, you brought it down, the winds might have changed. You ever lived out in Oklahoma, St. Louis? They change on a dime, the runways. And sometimes you shake your head going, wait a minute, the wind's blowing the exact opposite way than what they're saying the active is. Welcome to the Midwest, welcome to flying, folks. If you can't do it, you say, be advised, unable. All right, so let's keep going here. I'm going to check out our winds real quick, folks. Except wrong one. All right, the rains have moved off from MidAmerica, but we're get down here to PGD. I'm not caring right now about MidAmerica too much. 100 at 7. Okay, one more look at our airport. 100. Yep, we're going to have to go with 15. So we just select PGD, departure, 15, and there are no SIDs. Insert. Clear. And we should be aligned here momentarily. You'll get a message here, something, a base here, something like GPS primary or something like that. And that'll let you know you are fully aligned. There it is, GPS primary. Clear. Clear. Sound like I'm getting ready to defibrillate someone. Clear. All right, and then we'll switch this to plan real quick and walk through it looking here to see if we see anything that looks really wonky. And by that I mean 5,000 miles off one way, 1,000 miles. I mean, folks, you would see an EFB here of like -20, but you know what I'm saying. We go up through the check. Okay, top of descent, speed limit, and then the airport. All right, so we're going to click there. We'll go ahead and put our arrival in to 14 left on the star ENL2, which is, by chance, so you all know, Centralia. It's the home airport that I'm at, folks. That's why I know. Very familiar with the arrival routing. Now there is an RNAV. A lot of, over the most of the summer they were flying the RNAV. And by the way, looking here, back it up to Centralia, looking for any discontinuities. Centralia looks good. Havel, Eichel, Gutmai, Troy, Hetsu, Momot on to the approach. Anyway, they were flying an RNAV. It's a little different. Pushes them, I think, a little further out for them to swing in. But anyway, it looks good. We've got a good flight plan here. Go ahead and put that away. Go back to F plan, putting us at the beginning. Next up, let's check our RAD nav page. Nothing out of order here. I'm not putting anything in. So now we head to the initialization page. We're going to go to page Bravo. All right. If everything went in here right, it looks like it did. We're set to go. What I'm going to do is pull down the ToLiss page. 122.3. And again, zero fuel weights off by 0.1. So we'll go ahead and make the adjustments. Okay. And 19.5 is good. Fuel reserves look good. Let's go to the fuel prediction. 8.7 is good, and it says we'll be out of fuel by then. Hopefully that's not true. And I'm not looking for us to go there. Okay, next up is the Perf page, and this is another fun one. Now, let's do this. Set it up here, 1F. Runway's too short. Uh-oh. How about runway 2? How about flaps 2? Okay. Let's see what it actually comes up with. And I think we might go toga on this one. Upload. Requesting. Look at that. They actually did do a flaps 1. I'm going to put a flaps 2 in. All right. Well, we're not getting it, so insert. Wow, it is being really finicky today. I think it's because this number's wrong. All right, let's see what we're calling for here. Up 1. There we go. Okay. Now we're looking better. So 114, the only thing I don't like about any of this is that it doesn't tell me how much runway. How much runway am I gonna need? That's a number the pilot's supposed to know. And always the transition's wrong. Alright, let me try Mr. Black Box, see if he's got something for this airport. I'm pretty sure he doesn't, but you just never know. He's got quite a few over here with the Ks, but nope, nah, he doesn't have that one. I kind of figured he would. All right, so we'll go with those numbers there, folks. But again, you see how quick and easy we're ready to go, folks. I just got a couple more checks to do. We can start boarding people. And let's do it. So the passengers are walking on at this time. We're just doing our finals. Altimeter out of here is 3015. I have it set to mirror over here. I got to change that. Let's go LS. Okay. And flight directors both on. Dashed. Initial climb out of here. We'll go straight up. Oh, come on. I hate this part. This part irritates me. Straight up to 38. ADF, oh, I'm sorry, VOR, constraints. And we're all set and ready to go, folks. Okay, anti-skids on, nose wheel steering's on. Switching panels, they're right here, they're all normal. Real quick, engine. Oil quantities are green. Hydraulics. Looking good. Fuel, likewise. And doors, 1800, good. So we got plenty of everything. We're good to go, folks. So let's come down here and let's start. Let's see, can I close those up? No, I can't. I gotta use this one. Okay. All right, we're closing up and getting ready to go, folks. All right, we had a fun trip with better pushback in Zibo a couple days ago. Did well with the 707 yesterday. So we're going to try it with the A319, only because it's a lot easier to use. A lot simpler. And let's get the main cabin door closed. All right. Arm doors. And cross-check slides are on. Okay, all the lights are off. Status. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Load status. All right, let's get a hold of better pushback.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing. Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Right. We are ready to go. There's our pushback tug. Last thing to remove, folks. And always make sure, folks, and I already knew it was, but make sure your parking brake's on, because if you're on a slope, it will move.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Clear to connect. Okay, folks, we are ready to push back on time.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Okay, and finally, we'll get our transponder on parking brake off. Clear to push.
Here comes the pushback. Light 'em up.
Okay, here we go, folks. We are on our way. Well, that's definitely incorrect. We're not near that place. Alright, let's go ahead. Ignition. As soon as we start turning, we'll start cranking. Here we go. Starting up number 1. I'm trying to figure this noise outside my window, and I just realized it was trash day. Oh. I'm like, what the heck? That's a lot of noise. All right, and
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
okay, parking brake set.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Let's go ahead and start number 2 in the process. All right, number 2 is firing up. We're just waiting for a fail, and then
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Okay, I think we're fired up. All 2 engines. Okay, I don't see the gray box here. I don't see a veil. But we'll go ahead and proceed. First, back to normal, because I always forget. Alright, so bleed air off. Ground spoilers back to arm. I don't like how they're bouncing us up and down. Usually it's less chaotic. Flaps to 2. Nothing's on there. Pitch trim. Alright, and we need to go up. Okay, and need ice, but we can turn the APU off and see side doors checked. And auto brake to max. Okay, cabin's been alerted, and do our test, and we're go. All right, here we go, folks. Iowa Scotsman, welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy the A319 today. Yeah, we're in XPlane12. Changed the setting in OBS 28. It's not doing anything, so I don't know. But anyway, see if this fuel truck's gonna hit us. Oh. All right, so just about to the end of the runway here. Elapsed time to run. Let me just zoom in on it because I can't read it from here, folks. Sorry. Okay. FMA nav climb, we're good. Auto brakes max terrain on, not yet. Get it on though. Takeoff config checked. EOW to memo. No, I don't know what that is. All right. Flight control check. To the left, to the right, and center. We'll hold short and finish up. All right, brakes are set. So PWD to memo lines. It's talking about this. Transponder TARA. We're just going to go on because I'm guessing that will go above. Brake check's good. Engine mode as required. Turn on lights. Everything's raring and ready to go. And here we go, folks. Punta Gorda traffic, Allegiant 853 departing 15. Hey, Flex or Toga? They're saying Flex. I think we need to go Toga on this, but okay, 100 cross-check engine's good. Hey, got some rain, folks. Rotating.
V1, rotate. V2.
Go ahead and get the gear up.
Gear up.
Start making our turn. Now they haven't fixed that light strobing, and I do apologize for those of you that have troubles with that. My apologies. If it's a setting I'm supposed to change, I wish I knew. Just basically fly in the director, folks. Go ahead, we'll let the autopilot take over now. Alright, and we're through 4,000 feet, and the flaps are up and showing up. Spoilers can be unarmed. It's basically by just pushing on it. And we are on our way, folks. Okay, we're through 6,000. Final checks, make sure I didn't miss anything. Engine, anti-ice timers. On. Okay, landing. All right, 10,000 feet, lights come off. And we're pretty much into cruise. I'm going to go ahead, come down here. Even though I could have done this on the ground, one thing I don't like about this plane, I can't tell it to go this way immediately. But it is what it is, you know. Not going to get overly conscious of it or anything like that, folks. But yeah, we're on our way. So far, so good. Hope y'all having a grand Tuesday. We're at 280 in our climb, and should be topping out here shortly. You know what? I think that calls for a flyby. Clouds actually do not look that bad at this altitude. I've also turned them down to the medium setting. There was only like 3 positions, middle ones when I'm at. And they look pretty good, folks, at this setting. Now if we could just get the rest of this to fall in line, so and OBS 28 to fall in line, we'd be in great shape. So we'll just kind of cruise our way on up to MidAmerica Airport. Folks, we're expecting a landing as of right now, 14 left. Hopefully the winds don't change, but when we get there, we'll find out. For now, kind of sit back, relax, enjoy the music, and hopefully we'll have a no disconnect flight.
18,000 feet.
Alright, we are through 18,000. Didn't hear him make the call. That's okay. We'll standard things out and make our run for 38,000. Alright folks, for the sake of the controller that just came on, I went ahead and disconnected. We have had a rash of disconnects, both OBS and XPilot, and I don't want to stress him out any more than I am already. But, you know, we're just trying to sit back and relax, enjoy. So we'll come off and we'll see how things progress. Alright folks, so we are on our way, getting ready to cross Lakeland, Florida, on our way to MidAmerica Airport, and hopefully a problem-free run. So for now folks, I'm going to take a quick break here, use the lav, be back, and we'll fly this out. All right, folks, I'm back. We are 30,500 and climbing. Let's talk across the pond, shall we? Coming up in 2 weeks, folks. Well, a week and a half now. 22nd of October. And I have put my name in. I do have a reserve slot time to choose. Although I'm kind of curious what will be left over by then on Friday, but we are hopeful that the slots I can take will be available. At least something will be available of interesting like. That'll be interesting. I see I have to download a piece of software from GitHub, so we'll get that going. But we are going to try to fly across the pond October 22nd. So from where to where, we don't know yet. But we're going to try to book it up come Friday. So just want to give that heads up to y'all. But yeah, that'll be it. It's something I haven't flown, folks, in the better part of 15 years. A lot of problems with it in the beginning. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, whether we stream it or not, if I fly it, it will probably be XPlane12. Much to my dismay. Not because I want to stream it, but I don't want to have problems. Now, if I don't stream it, there's and depending what route, see, that's the problem here, folks. There's a couple of aircraft I'd like to fly for it. Now, I don't think I'm inhibited aircraft-wise on these routes, just that they can fly it. The one I want to take out, I think, is XPlane12, and that's the 747. So I don't have the latest and greatest 747s for XPlane12. I do have a 767 that could make the run too. But we'll kind of see how things go and whether or not we stream. Now, I know a lot of people streaming. To come to mind immediately, Spyflight and Chewy. I know a couple of others. I think Melvin has done one, maybe. That's a question mark. Huge question mark. But there are a few others that have, and I'm not sure about streaming that, because it is just, one, I'm in uncharted territory, whereas back in the early 2010 time frame when I did fly it before, it was voice. Well, let's just put it this way. We voiced our position reports. Whether or not they heard us, that's another thing. See, I heard the SSG is available, but see, I'm looking at that 747-200, and but the Dash 8, that's a good one. And I know Sparks, I think, has upgraded theirs to XPlane12, but I'm not certain. So I have that option too. But I really want to fly the Fearless. So, or if I do stay with 12, potentially the 767, or surprise, surprise, maybe a 707. But again, it will all depend what I have left. I hope there'll be a lot to choose from, especially after, because I can't start until after 1400 Zulu. Just because I'm getting off a 24-hour shift that day. So, and that's quick for me to get turned around, cleaned up, and get on stream. So, not on stream, on the flight. So, Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you there, Iowa. I'm thinking that 747 may get purchased for that flight. We'll see. Got to first find out what the heck I'm going to be cleared to fly. Well, as far as I know, Iowa, the ToLiss 747 is not compatible with XPlane. I think for the most part, it's flyable, but a lot of the EFB and stuff like that is not. R3, welcome aboard. Thanks for the follow. And what's up is right. We are up. We are up at almost 38,000 on our way to MidAmerica. Welcome aboard, sir. Thank you for the follow. But maybe they'll throw us a bone and have it ready for across the pond. Oh, that would be sweet. All right, we are topping out, folks. Let's see how the clouds look from up here. I'm going to tell you, folks. Moving that slider to the middle on the clouds kind of improved them. And I heard one guy say, that's just unacceptable. That's pretty doggone good looking to me. So, yeah, it was a video in the best settings, and I'm like, this does not look bad at all. So, but again, they got that shimmering, something's not right with it. I'm sure I've got to get settings tweaked up right here. So I'm going to have to look into what I need to do. But yeah, we are 1 hour. I think it's 30. I can't read my own overlay up there, folks. Sorry, I may have to cut it down in some parameters and make it a little bigger so these old tired eyes can read it better. One hour, 38 minutes ahead of us will be MidAmerica Airport. We do have rain moving out. Hopefully that's a good sign for us. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Bad sign for us. I was kind of looking forward to it. Is Atlanta purple? Interesting. Wait a minute. I think I know why. It is. Oh, wow. That's PosCon showing up. They're up in PosCon. Okay. I'm looking at my live map here. Let me try and pull that up for you. What I was looking at, folks, is right here. Atlanta. Purple, kind of. Dark light shaded. Here's Vatsim's ATCs. And I've got PosCon turned on over here. I take the ATC away. Look, they go away. It's the first time I've seen that, folks. Sorry. It's the little things that make me happy. So, anyway, this is the live map, folks. Come October 22nd. Whew. Look for nothing but lines going that way towards Europe. And I mean from down here, from South America, from Halifax all the way back to Seattle. I don't think I saw anything out of Honolulu. Wouldn't put it past it. But yeah, it's gonna be some heavy traffic. So, and if I can't get the destination or departure point that I want, you know what, folks? We'll see. I do have contingencies for that. I am off that day. And, but yeah, we'll see. It's, hopefully, we'll see what Friday brings and, what I can get booked and confirmed. Wow, that clears it up pretty much, folks. You know, it's amazing. Probably a year ago-ish, I was just getting started into the world of Volanta, which is nothing more than Sim Toolkit dialed down. Sim Toolkit has a ton of stuff they don't. And they've been around longer, so what do you expect? But that's, I mean, these blue Sim Toolkit, that's what they are, folks. These are Sim Toolkit planes. Used to be almost more than the Vatsim traffic. Almost, not more, but it was comparable. Now, not to say some of these Vatsims aren't Sim Toolkit, but if you turn it off, they should still be there if they are. But anyway, I just found that interesting. Because here I thought Atlanta Center was up. I'm like, why is it a different color? All right, so we are on. We are over northern Florida, pushing into Georgia and towards MidAmerica. Looks like a lot of clouds today in the U.S. Check that out. Wow, there's one I don't normally see, Evansville Approach. Wow. All right, let me refresh SimAware. I'm kind of curious how it's painting something. It's kind of painting that line that I saw. We've got a line of thunderstorms possibly moving towards St. Louis. Now, whether it holds together or not is to be determined, obviously. But this is where we're heading, folks. Right up. Oh, you're not seeing that. Never mind. We're heading up towards St. Louis. Let's take a look here. No, I'm just looking for the cloud layers. Ah, that's interesting. It doesn't really show any clouds over Florida. Huh. That's weird. Got sporadic rain all over the place here, it looks like. Let's see. Now we'll just leave it. That's fine. So yeah, that I'm not sure of is proper. We're still in city, so that puts us right about, I think, there, Cross City. Right here is Cross City. Tallahassee is there, so. Interesting. All right, so yeah, the weather, well, it is showing marginal in these two places. Huh. Interesting. Like I said, folks, always interesting, the weather, the way it's depicted in a flight sim. It's always interesting to follow. But folks, thanks for coming aboard and supporting the stream. We sure appreciate you. Like I said, looking forward to cross the pond. Hope some of you all are going to be joining. Not sure if we're going to stream it or not yet. I can already hear one person telling me, you should. And I'm sure there'll be more of you saying that, but I don't know yet. I'm hoping the westbound that happens in spring is at a lot later time than what the eastbound is to give me more options. Not to say that I really want to fly out of Seattle, LA, Las Vegas. I don't know if Vegas is one, but you get the point. It starts from the west coast and works its way east, so that by 1500 where we're getting into the latter part, the east coast is departing, just like in the real world, folks, except 12 hours later, because in the real world they take off in the evening to get over there by morning so they can get back here by early afternoon, early evening to take off again in the evening. Well, that's one of my cross the ponds I've done. They're fun. I love doing the position reports by voice. But when you got 10, exaggeration coming, folks, 10 million people on the same channel, jibber jabbering like they were before, can't get them in. I actually went 4 waypoints across the ocean. And folks, if you're familiar with crossing the Atlantic, that's approximately 4 hours with no contact with ATC because they were just jibber jabbering. Oh, hey Tom, how are you? Hey Jack, you're doing great. Hey, how you doing? Folks, we're out here to fly. We're not out to jibber jabber. Find yourself a Discord channel, back then TeamSpeak or something like that, but that's how it was. So now they got this piece of software that I guess is supposed to mimic the ACAR CP DLC links and the crossover, so we'll see how this pans out. And by the way, I used to cross the pond quite a bit, folks. Both Atlantic and Pacific ponds. So, lately I'm just not impressed at all. So, and if I do it, I'll do it offline. But overall, the position reporting, if you can do it by voice, is a piece of cake. Now, if you got to text it, oh, that's way too long. Because basically you have to give where you are or when you crossed where you're at, speed, and then your time to your next fix, and then next, and then somewhere in there you give your fuel. And yeah, and that one I never understood. It's not the controllers to control what my fuel burn is like, unless they're using it to figure out winds in a roundabout way. So, but anyway, you know, out of my control, don't know, but that's what they had us doing back then. It was, and I even tried texting it, by the way, they wouldn't respond. So I'm like, you know what, next time I ain't flying. Haven't done it for 10 to 15 years. So hopefully they have good oversight. Looks like they do, and they've got controllers, hopefully at least 2 or 3 per track, and all of those airports, both sides of the water covered. Because that's a lot, folks. There is, I'll give you, see if I can give you a little flavor. I'll rattle them off. It says cautiously. Really hate when they do this, but I can't stop Yahoo from doing it. Alright, where is it? Across the pond. Available slots. And they're going quickly. So here is just a flavor of places you've taken off from Seattle, Sao Paulo, Los Angeles, I thought I saw on here somewhere. Hey, I'm lying. I did not see LA. Atlanta. Wow. Okay, here we get some of the... Okay, those are the two real quick. Those are way back at 1231 Zulu. Seattle and Sao Paulo and Hartsfield. Now, throw in Princess Julian coming out of TNCM, folks, St. Martin. Grantley Adams, Barbados. Dulles. Wow, no LAs. Also, no Chicago O'Hares. Here comes Toronto. Throw that in the mix. These are departure points. Austin, I know, is one as well. I think that's it for the departure points, folks. Wow, I thought they went other places, came out of. Right, some of the arriving places for you all to kind of salivate over. Vienna, Dusseldorf, Lisbon, Portugal. Kiev, I think is how you say that, UKBB. Amsterdam, Johannesburg, there's one you don't normally see on the list. London, that's a duh. Amsterdam, I already said. So that gives you a little idea of what's out there. Folks, these slots go 3 or 4 a minute from, not doing the math, folks, you do it, from 1050Z, 3 to 4 a minute, to 1711. That's a lot of flights, folks. I don't know, they made it seem like a lot more departure arrival points than the normal 6 or 7 they do both sides. So, you know, hey, still, nonetheless, looks like fun. I mean, it will be fun, especially if you go Boston to Amsterdam or Dusseldorf or London. Those are 5-6 hour hops. But anyway, there you go, folks. And I will, right now, even if you cross the pond, folks, hear me. If I can't get a time in when I get home, I'm not booking prior to it and taking off late. If I can't, I will let you know in that Discord channel I can't fly it. So I'm not going to be one because of that to just take one and poo-poo on someone getting it. No, I just won't be able to. And no hard feelings. That's the other big thing, folks. I understand. I unfortunately work at 24. Most people don't. And usually it lands on a day I'm working, so it would have never mattered anyway. Just so happens I'm off that day, but not until, I think it's 12:30Z. So, I mean, granted that you're all going, well, there's other times you could fly. No, I got things to do before I can get on the computer. So, like I said, if I can't, I'll let you know so you can give it to someone else. But yeah, that ought to be a fun time, folks. Whether we stream it or not, I don't know. If we do it. All right, I think we're crossing Tallahassee at this time, so we'll kind of work our way up. We'll see when we come back online if we're going to. I really was very upset. I forget how many nights ago it was when I flew from Reagan to LaGuardia. Some of you call the garbage can. And what a flight, folks. Up until the disconnect, what a flight. But then we came off the runway, which is at least a good thing. Rounded the taxiway, dropped voice, dropped Vatsim, dropped OBS, not dropping, crashing to desktop, just disconnecting. Because of frame rates, which I don't know where that hit came from. And then they reconnect and, oh, embarrassment out the you-know-what. Actually, I don't think XPilot fully disconnected. I think just the voice. So, oh, that just really annoyed me. So, now, those streams are available, folks, on our YouTube channel. Let me give you our socials here. So feel free to head over there. I'd love you to click that subscribe button over there. It's a lot different subscribing to YouTube than Twitch. You're not subscribing and forced to pay money. You're just following is what subscribe means there. Now, if you want to donate, feel free. Donate's the same here. You can always do an asterisk donate to find out. But over there, subscribing is just following. Here, subscribing is subscribing by dollar amount. So, but anyway, folks, that approach was unreal, because New York's one of the airports they beefed up, just like Microsoft did, I don't know, 30, 40 airports for $200. And half a dozen more planes to a dozen if you paid that price. Here you get Hong Kong, New York, Washington, Berlin, Frankfurt. Trying to think the other one. Paris, the oddball St. Louis. LA's in the list. The oddball is St. Louis. Thank you, XPlane, but that's definitely not expected. But anyway, there you got a whole litany of them. But what's neat, though, we flew into Bangkok yesterday with the 707, and there's pretty much Bangkok right below us. So I was really like, okay, XPlane, this is pretty cool, even though it's not the beefed up like Hong Kong was. Holy mackerel. That, folks, go back, watch that video over there. Wow. And they are not broken up by those disconnects. They are solid. And holy mackerel. New York City coming down. You can make out the Freedom Tower. All the different buildings. Now what was the other tallest building? Doggone it, just went out of my mind. Hey, you have it easier at 57 than I do. But yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable. This whole scenery around this was just unreal. So, very fun run into LaGuardia. And look on the bright side, we have to come out because we landed there. So we'll find a flight here soon and depart out of there. Did a nice little shuttle run, old U.S. Airways shuttle run. And United had them, American has them, Continental had shuttle flights. What was the other? Anyway, many of the airlines did these things called shuttle flights, these short they're like 180. They're like, Europeans like, we have those all over the place here in Europe. Well, they're not here in the United States because unless you live on the Northeast, everything spreads out here in the U.S. So, it's bus day. Yes, sir, Hawker. Welcome aboard. Doing a little recapping of the U.S. Airways shuttle flight we did a few days ago and talking across the pond. So, anyway, hope your day's going well out there at the corn patch. Alright, so 100 miles to Montgomery, I call it MGMRY, and then off to Centralia and into MidAmerica Airport. I still have to say, with moving my cloud detail down a notch, they look a lot better. So, maybe not perfect yet, but better than before. We have a NOTAM? Okay, well, maybe I'll check them. Oh, I guess I'll check some NOTAMs. What the heck? Probably close the airport. So far, nothing on the NOTAM list to worry about. The only hazardous cargo I have is what's in the lavatories. Some of these are actually hilarious. Okay, I don't see anything to prevent me from landing on 1-4, so don't even see a wet runway maybe. Okay, let's go through these. Hey, there's the wet runway. Must have just heard me. You better put one out. Even though it's probably dry now. Alright, well, we checked NOTAM, so there. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to... I got Yelts. Welcome aboard. Hope you're having a grand day. We are on our way to MidAmerica Airport, where they decided to turn the glide slope off for us on 14 left, but, you know, I think we'll be able to handle it, considering the NOTAMs aren't ready. You know, that would be fun to put into a simulator. Whatever the NOTAMs say, bam, you get. So if they have an errant one saying the glide slope doesn't work, and you try to come in ILS, that would be fun. All right, so there's MGMRY, and I believe that will be our last fix. Don't we still have Vilken, which will probably be up by Nashville? Oh, it actually is. It's by Birmingham. Huh. Then we make the long run, 300 miles to Centralia. Oh, excuse me, folks. All right, so I hope y'all are having fun. Folks, if you have anything you'd like to chat about, talk about amongst each other, the chat room's wide open. Just keep it. No bullying, no slandering or anything of people. Just keep it, you know, lighthearted, fun. That's what our chat room is for. Folks are just here to relax and unwind from their days or unwind during their breaks. So please, but feel free to chat away. Any questions, feel free to field them. And we'll do our best to get this bus into MidAmerica as quickly as we can. All right, let's do a system check here. basically what we're going to be doing is every 30 or so minutes, maybe an hour, you sure can. Doesn't mean you're going to get much of a response. Oh. All right, let's look at the engines here. Everything's green. Leads look good. Pressures are good. No problems there. Electricity flowing through the generators into the plane just fine. Same with the hydraulics. Okay, let's head up there and balance out the tanks real quick. Cross feed's coming on. Engines look fine. Alright, so we're going to shut down the fuel pumps on the right side to allow for them to balance out. Now the aircraft is being powered by just the left side tanks for now. Till we're even here. Okay. Oh, we're not. There we go. All right, so now we're even. Oh, no, we're not. We're still 100 off. Holy mackerel, I didn't even notice that. Got a ways to go. I was reading 48, folks. Sorry. Alright, so now we're even. We'll just turn the cross pump off. It's confirmed. Come back down here. Engines are doing fine. And alright, so we'll continue on from the fuel panel. Clicking all is all I've been doing here, folks. APU is off. Air conditioning looks good. Door slides closed, door slides armed. Wheel, go back. Covers are closed and brakes look good on the temps. And here's our surfaces all looking good. Status page looks good, clear, and we're back to normal. Got a nice page here, but it's always good to run through them all just to make sure. While we're here, this right here, folks, click activate for the approach phase. We only do that when we're ready to turn in for the runway, or we've actually taken over control of the speed. Because what's going to happen if you do that now, it's going to slow down to what the F speed is, which is somewhere around 150. You're going to drag that all the way unless you take over. And that's why once we take over in our descent, get below 10,000, we start thinking, you know what, take it over. Because we're not going to come off. But for now, we'll leave it as is. And top of descent is showing in at 300 miles out. So we got a little ways to go before we start talking descent. But yeah, feel free there, Hawker, if you want to stir up some business on business jets, go right ahead. Again, hope everything's going well, though, for you out there at the corn patch there, Hawker. Okay, we are in Atlanta's airspace. It is that line of thunderstorm, or line of rain. I don't know if it's thunderstorms. Can't see lightning on this map. But, yeah, it's a couple hours out of St. Louis. I would laugh my butt off and say that's how it usually is by weather forecasters out in St. Louis, if that's the cold front that's supposed to come through tomorrow. But I don't have that data in front of me, so we're not going to have that fun. Alright, we're making that turn on course towards Vilken, which is up by Birmingham, and then on to Centralia. So enjoy the ride, folks. ETP. Time. I've seen this before. Oh, okay. Interesting. Basically, that ETP is it takes about the same amount of time to reach, in this case, MidAmerica Airport, as it would be to turn around and get back to Punta Gorda. So, make a decision. Now, a lot of you are wondering, why is the plane cocked like that on that line? We have a 260 degree 200 wind out of 260 at 70 is our average. So we got a pretty stiff crosswind. And the mascot of Flying with Mike is trying to make himself heard on the microphone. Let me figure out what's going on. Be right back. Alright folks, it was nothing as I figured. People across the street, a house that just moved in a few days ago. People still visiting and he's got to make himself heard. But yeah, we have a wind right now. The average wind for this flight was 260 and right about this point was the jet stream at 70 knots. So, and as you can tell up there, on the exploded view here of the nav display, 262 at 97. Across the ponders, get ready for that. In winter, it's your friend going and your enemy coming back to the States. So if you're going to Europe, it's great. Coming back to the States, it's your enemy. It is mean. That's why sometimes, you know, some airlines got cheap and went with flying 737s across the pond, 800s, Airbus 319-320s, and found out, oh yeah, they can make Europe, no problem. They can get pretty good distance into some. Coming back is a different story. 757s, a lot, you know, airport up in Maine, Portsmouth, Old Pease Air Force Base, sees a lot of them dumping in there because they're low on fuel. So, just be ready for that. Now, granted, we're going east, so the winds are at our back end and pushing us at a good pace to help us. So, when we do it in the spring, it'll be against us. So, the fun things of flying transatlantic, continental, or Pacific. Another one I'm going to look into possibly doing. I don't know yet. I've got a couple VAs I could do the Atlantic and the Pacific with. Not so sure about crossing the land from Europe to Asia. And I'm not meaning from Frankfurt to Moscow. I'm talking Frankfurt to Hong Kong, or Frankfurt or London to Tokyo and such, Bangkok and places like that. So, we'll see. But yeah, we are just waiting for our time to be able to bid or book a flight, which will be after 21Z on Friday. And we'll see what's left and if we're able to. aircraft that are contending for me to fly across the pond. 747-200 or 400. 767s. Or possibly a 707-120. We'll see, though. We'll see what we're going to be bidding on and what times, because that's the real problem, folks. Like I said, I won't be able to take off until after 14 Zulu. So, because I'm getting off that day, so. We'll see what's available and what we can fly. And I will tell you right now, every radar I've looked at, that is bogus. So, XPlane still got some work to do with the radars and all, but, you know, and that could be a ToLiss thing. I don't know. But either one, great to start seeing the blips, but I haven't seen the blips that have been advertised. But that's okay. You know, again, we're beta, we're still learning it. Let's see how we are doing frame rate wise. 55, coming over Birmingham. Been there many a time in the semi. Yeah, it just looks like this cloud bank is what it's showing. Let me come down here, see if I can't. No, we don't have multi-scan and GCS on. Okay, neither of which did a thing for it, other than make it a little brighter. See if I can't work the gain. Okay, none of that helped. We'll leave it right there. All right, so folks, we are closing in on it. right, so, but yeah, across the pond, folks, for those of you, sometime between now and, I don't know when the booking process ends. Be looking forward if your email has come in. I have to wait till Friday, but that's okay. Friday. Really don't even have a city combo yet that I'd like to fly out of Boston, but Dulles isn't too bad. Yeah, I really don't have a preference, so that's a good thing. I mean, Sapalo, that's kind of cool. So yeah, we'll kind of see what's available and enjoy. Boy, I see our airspeed just not enjoying this 90 knot almost direct cross. So, and you can tell that right here. Let me blow this up again. See how that wind, when you look at it across, man, that is, that's pretty close to direct, folks. Welcome to aviation. I love telling this story as a kid. I mean, this was when I got my private pilots, probably a couple of years before 1986, when I haven't flown since then. Me and my dad just took a flight with the Right Pad Aero Club. We just went up to have fun. And I mean to tell you, it's like a day like this, except for a Cessna, there's a little bit more wind than you want to deal with. We went down to Sporty's pilot shop there in Batavia, Ohio, outside of Cincinnati. Flight down was great, got there kind of quick. Now, mind you, my dad at the time was not an airline pilot. He was in the process of building time up to his ratings to then build time to get into the right seat of a commuter aircraft. And I was just trying to build time. And he was a navigator in the Air Force, so he was a navigator on C-141s during NOM. On the way back, we were smart in the part that we today call it flight following. Back then, we just requested ATC, you know, and we're coming back, and the controller came on and goes, November 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, would you like to know your ground speed across the ground? And my dad quickly chimed in, sure. So he could do the math real quick to, you know, because that's what he did as a navigator, real quick math. You're doing a -5. I'm sitting there going, oh crap, we're going backwards. And so we started doing like sailboats, you know, kind of cutting across the winds, using them to help us get back up there. What was it? I'm going to say an hour to get down. I'm sure it was a lot less. It was well over an hour to get back. Wow. But again, that's just where that wind is just so much, folks. It keeps you in the air, but you're actually not making any progress. So, fun times though. And of course, in something as light as a Cessna, folks, it doesn't take much. You may have, whatever it is, 100 horses up front, but it don't matter if you got 100-mile-an-hour wind in front of you, you're not going to overcome it. Going to need more horses. Okay, so We are now 200 miles from Centralia. Let's pull up an FMC here and see what the top of descent's looking like now. Alright, let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. There's the chart out of Punta Gorda. Hang on, I'm just putting in our approach off Troy. There we go. Alright, so we're between this point and this point. Alright, so as we get to Centralia, we'll begin our descent in 190 or so miles. But for 14 left, we're basically going to come off of Centralia, 115.0, direct Haviz, direct Eichel. Now, Eichel, we need to be at 7,000 feet. So, let's check that out. It's not showing. So let's go to the right buttons. This is where you can set your speeds and altitude. Let's go to 7,000. Even though it's probably not going to be a problem, let's get the constraint correct. There it is. Now it's in there correctly. Alright, and then we're going to go to Dutmai, and then we're going to go to Troy, VOR. That's 116.0. All of this is done automatically on your RedNet page. And as we get closer, the ILS landing system frequency will show up, as well as the heading. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. Okay, so 128.7 is our ATIS. Now this is not a D ATIS, so don't look for it on that FAA page I give you every so often. You will not find it. But you will find St. Louis if you're over at that airport. Airport elevation 459. And the big thing for us is the transition level, of course, 18,000. We have to have DME IRU. We have the IRU. GPS. Radar required. I haven't figured this last part out yet. I'm sure one day I'll find out what it really means. And aircraft landing 14 left. Non-GPS equipped aircraft, Vandalia DME must be operation. Okay. Again, so VOR track 267 to Hoviz, then we'll track 284 to Eichel, 7,000 feet, continuing 284 to Dutmai, then we're going to turn to 311 to the right, to Troy. Off Troy, we'll get a vector for our final approach on a heading of 2828. So basically, the way that works out, folks, you're going to turn, you might get it to 228, doubtful, but you might, and then you're going to swing around for the approach if you're on the full ILS. If you're on a visual, you'll turn in before. You'll turn somewhere here and make your run on the runway. Alright, so let's pull up the ILS. 14 left. Alright, so as you can see it's 214 to Hetsu. Remember the vector was 228? So you'll come out here and then begin to do your intercept. Grab the localizer and fly it in. There's our frequencies across the top. However, 111.15. That is the localizer for 14 left. Final approach course, 139. At Woomont, we need to be at 2,200 feet. Then from there, decision altitude is 694 MSL. So that's what we'll see here. I believe the AGL radar altimeter is in this general vicinity, has to be 252 or higher. At that point, we make the call. Do we land? Do we go? 459, 442. Let you all read that while I continue on. That's our missed approach out to Dutmai. Okay, DME is required. That's how you'll know you're in Wilmot and Jugood. Are we there yet? Almost. But are you there yet? Helicopters do operate out of MidAmerica now, so we got to always be careful of them. And the other big thing is, and you know what? I'm going to have to pay attention again. In XPlane12, the Pappies were on the wrong side of the runway. The actual location is on the right-hand side. They came up wrong when I used to fly in here on 11. So we'll see what happens. But what that's saying, though, the VGS-I and the ILS may not coincide. That means when you're following your PFD here, you got your crosshairs, just like you see them there coming down the glide slope. When you hit the minimums and you look up, you may be high, you may be low on the Pappies. So adjust to land where you want to land. Preferably in the landing zone, preferably on the aiming point. That's not easy if you don't fly the plane over and over and over and over and over, whereas I fly them every so often. All right, so here we go. Procedure not authorized for arrivals on Troy VOR Airway 189 clockwise. So we're saying if you're coming in on an airway this way, folks, I'm sorry, this way, you're not going to do a procedure turn to come back. You're just going to hit Hetsu and come in. All right, so again, Troy to Hetsu to Wilmot to Jugig. Vertically, 2,200 feet at or above 2,200, but again, Wilmot at 2,200 feet and glide path. Okay, now, technically with the NOTAM that the glide slope is in-op, which it will be operative in the sim, 3.21 degree angle for your descent. There's your speeds to maintain that depending on which one of these is your arrival speed. If the glide slope's working, 3%. Sometimes they'll give you times down here. We're not getting them here. The big thing though, and we'll notice that that note that's normally there is not. That being if you have heads-up display, autopilot. Oh, what's the other one? Anyway, you can lower your RVR. You can do that on the Scott side, the military side. Anyway, 694 we call our decision altitude, RVR or 40 or better. And 3/4 of a mile. So if the VTAR is below 3/4 of a mile, find another runway. If that glide slopes out like the NOTAM says right now, look at what it does. We're down to 1 mile. So I suggest 1-4 right. Yes, it's a shorter runway. Minimums come way down on that. So all right, so there you go, folks. That's the charts. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Pull that back just a little, and I'm going to get rid of the charts. All right, so now let's come over here to the perf page. 107 out, so we got a little ways to go. We'll give it about the end of this song, and then we'll start plugging data in. The dog's on alert. He hears noises. Cracks me up. Oh, folks. All right, so again, thank you for flying with Mike. We sure appreciate you coming on board. If you so choose and like what you're seeing and hearing, we'd love you to smash that follow button, folks. Love to see you on future flights. Like I said, I am trying to get on across the pond. Gotta wait till Friday to put my get myself a flight booked. I haven't really put my eyeball on one yet because it's just too far out, but I'll kind of keep an eye out. But Boston, I think, would be the one I'd like to fly out of, but Dulles is fun. Who knows? Maybe St. Martin. That could be fun too. Definitely an interesting departure, that's for sure. And some streams to get there, so you know, a lot to think about between now and Friday when I get the chance to put my 2 cents in. So I'd love to be able to click that book button right now, but I can't. I used to fly for a VA that you bid on flights, and I don't mean like Mac Air here where you find a flight, bid. No, you actually 20 days or 10 days before the end of the month, you bid your flights for the next month, and you had to fly them. So you didn't just bid and fly at that point. You had to wait. So it's kind of, I miss that airline quite a bit. Downwind Sim. Yeah, we're not there yet. And we got about 179 miles to Centralia. But your seat's there, got a good view. Hawker's over here. Oh wait, no. Let me rephrase that. No, Hawker isn't in that seat, it's a bus. He's in that parachute going down. I will not fly on a bus. No. Airplanes and airplanes and airplane. All right, all fun side. Let's get up here and see if we're within about 80. We're just about, yeah, we're there. Let's do it. All right, so folks. Okay, so we got to put in, go to the next phase, and then the next, and we got to fill in this data. This is something you don't do with Boeing aircraft. So they want this data in here so the aircraft will not really let you do anything to hurt it. If kind of simplistic sound to it, but it will not. And you put this data in, update it before your landing, that really helps it. Where Boeing, you could hurt it unless you're flying a MAX. And top of descent just came on the nav display. So let's get up here to Centralia. MidAmerica Airport is 3014. So 3 0.14. Okay, the temperature here, a balmy 16. .140 at 5. Zero at 5. Boy, every way to screw up a landing it's giving me. And then our MDA just went through that, just refreshing. Now, MDA is your, what I go with is that M, mean sea level. And then DH is above ground. Let's do, oh, what the heck, we'll do 694. Okay, and 125, 130. So 130 is our approach speed. Okay, so back to my chart real quick. We're looking at about, little over 700 feet a minute on our descent at 130. We'll see if it does that. Minimum descent altitude, yes. However, let me pull the chart up here real quick. Here's how I do it. That one I use for the mean. When you look at the chart here, this is mean sea level, this is AGL. So I go with this for the MDA, decision height, I go 252 AGL. I don't know who showed it to me that way, but I've always done it since, especially with this plane. I haven't crashed it too much. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second, folks. Actually, I don't think this one I've crashed yet. All right, so we're closing in. The hockey stick right here, that's our top of descent. And I'm finding these are kind of off. So I may start it earlier and may progress into an open descent where I pull the throttles back and let the plane drop even harder to get to that number. 7,000 at Hovitz. No, wait, that's wrong. Echo. Okay, so we got about 40 miles to top of descent. What I will probably do is start the managed descent off, and like I said, transition into it at about 10 miles. Now, one thing, this green dot here, that is your flap speed. can start lowering it at this altitude at, call it 225-ish. No, that's 230, so just above 220. A long way out to drag flaps, so we won't. But that's just something to let you know. Now there'll be a green dot here when you're in a managed descent where your airplane's calculating 7,000 feet at Eichel and all, and it'll maintain this green dot. So long as we're between here and here, we're right on the projected path. Think of it, Boeing guys, as that gauge right here that tells you where you are on your descent path with the computer. It's like a glide slope, if you will. Same thing. Some of the Boeings also have it over here. Sorry, folks, had to do it. Mark LDS767, welcome into the stream. Hope you're having a grand day. Bringing the A319 in. I can enter either. I use the MD8 just because it'll be the same to my mean sea level, 694, which is 252 feet above. Kentucky Lake. All right, let's see here. Descent. All right, arrivals complete. Perf approach page complete. Top of descent winds requested at 20 miles. We'll set and push. All right, 7,000. Okay, that green dot that I'm talking about, folks, is right in between those arrows. It'll come down in between here as we get on track right around Paducah KPAH. That jagged blue line is where we'll come into the descent path, and I'll kind of start looking at it. What, I'll be honest with you, downwind, I don't know the true designation of an MDA versus DH. That's just how I do it on all runways. I'll put in the MD8 with the big bold letters or numbers that are on my jet charts that I got. So in this case, 694, I think it was. And then if I wanted to use the DA, I'll put in the 252 for 14 left here. Other airports, whatever's in the parentheses, I'll put in the DA. Whatever's bold, I'll put in the MDA, whatever. It's hard. So Oh, that's how I do all airports. Seems to work. Can't guarantee it's the actual correct way. I wish I could, but I'm not an instrument-rated pilot. I only play a captain on streams. Was a private pilot, haven't been current for a long time. Okay, airspeed's right where it needs to be. And see the green dot now coming down, folks, as we're getting closer to where we're going to meet up with the projected glide path. And we'll see if this one does better than the flight factor does. Huh. Well, part of me wishes I got my instrument rating, but I never did. I was always told you go down to decision height, whatever it is for whatever approach you're shooting. You see the runway or runway environment, continue, if not go around. That was 1980s when I flew. A thing or two has changed since then. And then I only flew VFR, so. Here, let me show you real quick on the chart. All right. Down here, here's the ILS minimums, folks. 694 MSL, or translates to 252 AGL. MSL's the bold one, AGL's in the parentheses. Now, glide slopes out, so all you got's the localizer, everything comes up. So I could come down to 252 here above the ground level. Over here, where the localizer is only, my MDA, which I call MSL 920, or an AGL translated out as 478. Remember, it's 459 feet above sea level. Your distance that you can see increases too. So if your METARs have RVRs below 55 with the localizer, you can't even shoot the approach. If it's below 40 on the ILS, you can. I mean, above 40, sorry, not below. Oh, get a lot of instrument pilots in trouble there, Captain. Watch out. So you see, there's where your differences come in right here. But what I'm doing here, I take this well, you have two separate sets of minimums. So if I'm coming down just the localizer approach without the glide slope, which technically, as I understand the NOTAM right now, that's how runway 14 left is. You're coming down localizer, so it has to be 920 feet on your METAR or better, and RVR 55 or a mile better. Otherwise, you can't even come in, can't even shoot it, folks. But if you get down to 920 and don't see the runway go around, or 478, which is what it would be over the ground, above the ground. And that's my pea brain, folks, thinking that loose nut behind the stick in this plane. I try not to think too much because I get into trouble. And we are going to steepen this up because we're only at 26. We have 59 to go plus. Well, actually, right now it's looking like it's going to make Eichel, so we'll see. So we'll see. We're not going to be flying without the ILS, so. No, we might do a visual once we get under the clouds here. Who knows? So it's just how you program the McDo. Because remember, you're programming it in here. Now in a Boeing, all you're doing is setting it right here off the EFIS. Here, you're actually plugging it into the McDo. Unless the flight sim versions of the Boeings are missing a page. I'm not going to say they are, because I don't know. To me, they're pretty real enough for me to fly them. All right. We are now 50 miles, 50 from Centralia. You know, it's actually, well, we were there last week or the week before in the North American 767. I can't remember. No, wait, we didn't come in XPlane12. It's been a while since I've been here in XPlane12. All right. All right, folks, there you go. There's the weather where we're headed. Oh, my nose. All right, I am going to start dialing things down. Folks. Oh, allergy season is never fun. Oh, and I see. Let's see how frame rates are doing as we're drifting into clouds. About 50, 54, so we're doing good there. All right, you know what? Let's first look ahead. I had to come offline. Mainly because I didn't want to be a problem for some controllers where I lose my voice. Not my voice literally, but on the sim. Let's go ahead and reconnect. Alright, we'll see if it picks up the flight plan or not. It may not. I don't know.
18,000 feet.
I do not know what you guys did to Atlanta Center. I have not seen them in a while. Alright, so we're coming in. Blow this up here a bit. So we just kind of passed Marion, Mount Vernon. We're A lot of clouds, showing a lot of rain, but not really outside. All depends which METARs they're reading from. And folks, I could not understand that one from Punta Gorda. Holy mackerel. So, let's see if we're up on the Simaware yet. I think we are. Oh, we need to refile. Okay. Alright, hang on, folks. We'll refile that real easily. Okay, so here we go, folks. 10 minutes to go. Got to get through the cloud layer here and into the airport. Let's see how that's doing on frames. Still punching about 55, 56. Alright, over in Russia. Okay, fine and dandy. This strobing effect I really hate, and I apologize to those of you sensitive to that. I don't know what the setting is. But that is just, I mean, that's just horrible. So, one of the big, I think I might even have to write that up so they can, if it's a setting I need to adjust, then I need to find it, because I know there are a lot of people sensitive to that and triggers things. I have to say, you get into the right level, folks, clouds aren't that bad. Like I said, I'd love that. There's that strobing effect. I would love to see what the METAR really read. Well, I know I can. Let's do this. See, I would love to know when that METAR came out. Pretty much the same. Okay. Okay. Alright, we're slowing up. Let's go ahead, kick the lights in. There's 10,000.
10,000 feet.
Couple screenshot coming up. That really looks good, folks. I mean, that actually looks really good, the clouds there. Just wish this, well, the strobing effect isn't as bad now, but it's still there. Laminar needs to definitely look into this. Okay, so 240. Eichel coming up on 7,000. We'll go ahead, hold our descent. While we're here, let's do a quick run of our checklist. Okay, speed manage, speed brakes, flaps 1 below 230, which we're not at yet. Okay, and let's double check, make sure the McDo is set. It is. Go ahead, bring us on down to 5,000. Let's make it 4. Alright, there's the airport right there. Alright, there it is. Yes, I am. Alright, so we got the runway there. Oh, drizzle. Which we haven't had here in a while, so... Well, now we've lost it, so we'll have to stay full procedure instrument approach. Let's see. All right, we're going to go ahead and begin our descent. This is Beta 7. Yes, sir.
$2,500.
Yep, turning before Troy, but pretty much over Troy. All right, let's get a notch of flaps in here. Make sure our spoilers put arm. And let's get some rings set. We'll go. Okay, coming on the localizer. MidAmerica traffic, Allegiant 853. Joining the localizer for 14 left. All right, runway is in sight. Gears coming down.
Gear down.
Who said it could rain?
1,000.
Quick. Quickly as it came, it stopped. Okay.
Five hundred. 400.
Stable landing. Alright, folks. There's the airport.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And welcome into MidAmerica Airport. We made it! We're there! Doubtful the jetways work here, but folks, we'll find out. It's funny, they work elsewhere, but not here. Alright, coming off. First thing I'm going to do is kick that APU on. All right, let's APU is available. Get that going. All right, shutting it down. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. Brake temps. Okay, bleeds on. All right, so let's come down here. Yep, not working. I didn't think the jetway would, but every time I see the hose laying on the ground, I pretty well figure it isn't going to work. All right, folks. We're here. Woohoo. And, oh. All right, we landed 247 per Mac Air. IREP is filed. I always like to verify that it really did. And simply go to here. It's easier said than done sometimes. Shows I'm here. All I got to do is click PIREPS, status, and approval pending. Hallelujah. All right, folks, so we are in here looking at our sim brief or sim toolkit information that came on the screen. 216 feet a minute. Seemed a little harder to me than that, but that's just me. We are going to go ahead and rewind the flight, hopefully. Let's disconnect off Vatsim. Okay. That's the big thing you have to do, folks. But first, I want to review the flight. Hang on a second. It scrolled out of where I couldn't see it. Milling about the airport? No, not yet. We're trying to get that up here. I think it'd be kind of funny. Hang on, and let me pull Stream Elements up here real quick and cancel that timer. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's get Sim Toolkit up here. We're going to take a look at this landing. Okay, it recorded again 216. So what you do, folks, make sure once you've finished the flight, whatever you need to do, get over to your logbook, find the flight you want to review, click on it. Here's the basics. You departed and your arrival times. Then you get into your more detailed, and the basics are right here. A little fast. Actually, really fast. Should have been under 130. All right. So then you can come here and get the detailed information. Okay, so runway 14 left is what we did land on. Oh, hang on. Oh, I did not mean to start edge. I don't want edge up. Okay. So as you can see, where'd it go? There it is. All right, so for the, oh, you know what, I will pay attention on the replay. Here's your threshold. We have no overrun, no displacement. It's pretty much grass behind it, which is quite hilarious because it does get brown when the heavies take off. A lot of heat. All right, so threshold, your landing area ends right here. So that's where the zone for landing ends. Not to say they don't land outside of that. Yes, the military does. Actually, Allegiant used it there for a couple of weeks while they cleaned the rubber and restriped the runway. Allegiant would land over at Scott Taxi over on the connector. And we touched down right in between. I'm not sure if that's where I really did, but we'll find out. And then here's the numbers, folks. All right, let's get that out of the way. And fingers crossed. Actually, with the chocks in, I don't think it'll do it. Giving it every chance not to screw up on me. Not to say that it won't. All right, here we go. Let's try a replay. Survey says, few seconds. All right, let's start it up from there. Hallelujah. All right, we're lining up. Let's push in. Runway's right up there, folks. Scott's is right over there. Put that cloud in our way. Laminar did. Pappy's wrong side. Okay, it got me right on the runway where I did land. Okay. That looks really good. Let's get over here to the Hawker 125 side. Oh wait, he wouldn't be out here for it's a bus. how it looks right up on it. Nice thump onto the runway. That actually looks pretty good, that exit. Just we don't have all those lights. Now, that cross taxiway golf there, folks, we'll do this one more time. I already know we won't be able to see it from the tower. It's fun to watch on windy days because the crosswind that hits there to see the planes wobble, some of them pretty intense. Right there where the wind would come, where the trees were blocking it, then it opens up. Oh, man. But yeah, that is sometimes fun, from our vantage point, fun to watch. Which my vantage point, is right there, folks, the little firehouse. So anyway, folks, we've arrived at MidAmerica, which is our destination. Folks, I want to thank you all for flying with Mike. Thank you for being a part. If you haven't done so, we would love for you to smash that follow button so we can see you on our future streams. Thursday is our next stream. Not sure yet 100% what it's going to be. My thoughts, potentially, well, there's a bunch of thoughts. So I think I have something posted, so we'll probably go with that. Well, for now, folks, as we roll back into the gate, just want to say thank you, and we'll see you again Thursday. So for now, at the jet bridge that does not work in XPlane, thanks for flying with Mike. God bless. See you